We are Carrie and Josh. We are sharing things that, in our experience, worked for us and could also work for you.
It is hard to believe that it has been 6 months on this journey. This is week 25 on the MAF journey. And I'm going to spend this week's blog reviewing the year so far. And I like to break my training into 3-month blocks. So we had September to November and December till now in February, at the end of February. And then I will have another 3-month block leading up to my summer racing block. And so in the past, what I had done is when my last race hit, I would stop all the endurance and I would do strength work. And if you want to see some sample strength work, you can check it out in the blog. And so I would do 3 months of strength, and then I would start in December, and I would do Tuesday some pretty high intensity bike ride, and then Wednesday I would do something called MAF. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday I would have in there, Friday and Saturday I would have insanity interval workouts videos. And on Sunday would be a dedicated strength day. And so the reason for all the intensity was I read and heard about this time crunch triathlete philosophy, where if you don't have lots of time to go long, you do your workouts at shorter bursts of high intensity. And it worked really well for me. When I started getting into triathlons and started doing these workouts, I noticed lots of progression, times increasing. I went from just being happy to cross the finish line and push myself to now placing and being on the podium in my age group. And so it was great. But I've noticed the last couple of years kind of hitting a plateau, especially my bike times are even dropping a little bit from year to year. And yes, I know I'm getting older, but I wanted to figure out if there was something different I could do. And so another thing with all that intensity, I was starting to, I wasn't happy with a workout unless I was sucking wind on the floor of the garage. And the insanity workouts were great for that. And if you have never seen a MAF or heard about a MAF before, it is by far the hardest workout I've ever done. You run a mile, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then run another mile as fast as you can do all of that workout. And by the way, you're wearing 20 pounds on your back when you're doing it. And I would have to strategically plan my workouts, and I wouldn't recover well, and MAF would wreck me for a couple days. And so one other thing that happened is I spent 2 summers ago injured. I couldn't race, even though there weren't many races with COVID. Couldn't race. I had a lower leg injury from overuse and all that intensity, and it just caught up with me. So things that I've noticed this year in doing my workouts, I spent September to November doing morning strength workouts and evening runs. And the only reason I did that, I do like morning workouts to do all my work in the morning. The reason I did that is because I needed to see my heart rate monitor, and I didn't have a good headlamp, which now I do. And so I had to split them up like that, whereas now I'm doing about a half hour in the morning on the bike, and then a half hour of strength, and then Saturdays I've got an hour on the bike along with the strength. And so one major thing I've noticed is the recovery time. I feel great going into the workout the next day. I am not sore, I'm not shot. I can have back-to-back performances, and especially this week, the last week of this block, all of my bike times, Tuesday, best Tuesday time, just a great time. Wednesday, another great time. Friday, fabulous. Saturday, fabulous. I couldn't keep my heart rate in the zone easily. My legs couldn't keep up with where my heart rate was. I couldn't push my legs hard enough, which was such a great thing to see. And that's another thing I've noticed is my resting heart rate used to be 50, about 50-ish. And during the run block, it dropped to about 36, 37. And it sits somewhere about that, close to 40 now, which is, to me, is a very good sign of my cardiovascular fitness, which is a huge thing going into my speed work now to get ready for my races. And through all of this, when you're going at intensity, you're using all of your carbohydrate stores. You're using sugars for your fuel at that intensity. Whereas when you're doing this MAF training, I've conditioned my body to use fat as fuel. I'm working that system. And so the more I've worked that system, I've really noticed in these 6 months, I'm very lean. My pants are a little bit looser, but I haven't lost any weight. And I think that's a testament to doing those strength sessions when I do 30 minutes of bike, 30 minutes of strength, or doing those morning strength sessions with my bands and all my other things, that I'm keeping that muscle tone on. I'm more defined. I can tell kind of in my cheeks that I'm leaner. And like I said, my pants, I got to use the next belt loop a little bit almost. So that's been a big plus. And now going into the rest of my work, my body system is used to burning fat for fuel, and so that can make me more efficient. And the other thing that I hope, and only time will really tell once we get to this summer if my race times improve, but as far as feeling goes, I'm feeling amazing. I don't have any aches and pains and injuries or anything like that. But as going forward, I've put a lot more work on the run. I've put a lot more work on the bike. And so this quote resonated with me. It was, "It's better to be consistently good than occasionally great." So yeah, I could bust out one really intense workout a week, and then the rest I would just struggle along. But now I'm putting all of this consistent work into the process and trusting this process. And so I'm really excited for the speed block and to see where all of this base training has gotten me going into race season. So that is a 6-month recap on how MAF training has gone for me. I have really enjoyed it. It took me a while to get my brain away from the no pain, no gain mindset and into this consistency mindset. But now that I'm there, I can't ever see going back.